another episode of Restless Noise, and we are going to be talking about my new favorite topic, which is Canadian election results. Uh, तो सर कोई क्या फीलिंग्स हैं आपकी क्या आपको फील हुआ जब आपने इलेक्शंस में कार्नी को जीतते हुए देखा लिबरल्स हैव देयर हिस्टोरिक विन सिंस 1980s द पॉपुलर वोट and is still able to get a minority government short of 3 seats.
Yeah, the most interesting start for me was I think after 1930 ऐसा हुआ है कि दोनों पार्टीज ने like 40% प्लस वोट लिया है बिकॉज अदरवाइज एक अच्छा खासा वोट जो ये जो छोटी पार्टी होती थी ना एनडीपी
उनको जाता है
साइड वाली वो ले जाते थे एंड इवेंचुअली गवर्नमेंट बनानी पड़ती थी आपको इनके साथ मिलके which is still the case but
Yes.
like in terms of like percentage of vote जो है like there was pretty much an even split. Yeah, that stat I found interesting. बाकी the election was interesting. This was the first time that I was voting in the Canadian election, so that was kind of
show us your thumb. Show us your thumb. Show us your thumb.
Yeah, no point in showing the thumb. Like even on the election day, here like the voting process is like an altogether different. मैं like around 3 बजे I went to vote. 3:05 पे मैं वोट दे के बाहर आ गया था. Kind of underwhelming experience. अगर आप बहुत ज्यादा expectations हैं यहाँ पे कि like पाकिस्तान में जिस तरह हम इलेक्शन में देखते हैं कि इलेक्शन वाले
कोई बिरयानी की प्लेट ऑफर नहीं होगी
और आपको खाना ऑफर हो रहा होता है और बाय टेंट लगे होते हैं, वैसा कोई चक्कर नहीं था. लाइक लाइब्रेरीज में स्कूल्स में जो है वो पोलिंग हो रही थी एंड या लाइक 5 मिनट प्रोसेस, कोई लंबी लाइनें नहीं, कोई चक्कर नहीं. बाकी या डिजिटल कुछ नहीं है, लाइक एवरीथिंग इज ऑन द पेपर जिस तरह पाकिस्तान में होता है. अगर लोग समझते हैं कि वो जो बहुत सारे लोग कहते हैं कि ईवीएम होनी चाहिए और करप्शन और धांधली रोकने के लिए, सो ईवीएम प्रॉब्ली इज अ बैड आइडिया, इसलिए बहुत सारे लोग नहीं, बहुत सारे मुल्कों में नहीं होती बिकॉज वहां पे लाइक मे बी रिक करना आसान है. स्पेशली पाकिस्तान के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में सोचें कि लास्ट इलेक्शन हमने देखा ना कितना मुश्किल हो गया उनके लिए रिक करना. इमेजिन एक ईवीएम होती तो जाके उन्होंने जस्ट डेटाबेस पे एंट्रीज अपडेट करनी थी. Yeah, but anyways, kind of different experience, but yeah, very smooth.
Yeah, मेरी building का party room was the designated polling station.
Why didn't they use the school that they have like right next to your building?
I don't think it's a public school, so maybe that's why. Usually public schools को बनाते हैं.
Oh, okay, interesting.
तो यहाँ वैसे अक्सर जो हाउसिंग बिल्डिंग्स हैं उनकी पार्टी रूम्स वर डेजिग्नेटेड पोलिंग स्टेशंस. तो आप घर पे ही वोट कर ले. वो literally got to their home to get the vote.
Wow. That would be, पाकिस्तान में इसको बोलते पोस्ट पोल, प्री पोल रिगिंग और समथिंग, किसी तरह की रिगिंग होती पाकिस्तान में. बट एनीवेज, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग रिजल्ट एक्सपेक्टेड. बहुत सारे लोग, आई थिंक आई वाज एट फैमिली डिनर इलेक्शन से 2-3 दिन पहले, और तीन महीने पहले जो इलेक्शन का मोड था ना उसके अंदर चल रहे थे कि इट्स ऑब्वियस कि कंजर्वेटिव्स जीत रहे हैं. और देन आई टोल्ड देम कि हैव यू सीन के पिछले 2-2.5 महीने में क्या हुआ. और या आई थिंक वो लाइक वी डिस्कस्ड बिफोर, whatever we discussed actually ended up happening. A massive turn around since the departure of Justin Trudeau and Trump repeatedly calling for Canada to become the 51st state. I think all of that piled up big time in favor of Liberals, and they had the kind of victory that we saw. 168 seats. I think they were like
69.
169, 3 seats short of majority. So अब वो डिपेंडेंट है एनडीपी पे या
एनडीपी पे उन्होंने जून 2025 तक उन्हें टाइम दिया. There are few things they have put out, the
या
conditions.
या सो लाइक अगर आपने कुछ भी गवर्नमेंट बना के चीज़ें पास करानी है तो आपको किसी ना किसी को अपने साथ मिलाना है. वी विल सी के वो चीज़ कैसे जाती है. बट या इंटरेस्टिंग कुछ चीज़ें कुछ कुछ
Hmm.
स्टैट्स थे दैट आई वाज सीइंग. यंग वोटर्स जो हैं वो बहुत सारे कंजर्वेटिव्स की तरफ गए हैं इंटरेस्टिंगली.
Yes. Have you seen that
Which
fake election, that like a mock election kind of a thing, bunch of universities did among them?
really
Uh,
I didn't know.
yeah. So they voted for. So yeah, it's about like 5,400 schools participated, and like
Wow.
some of the campuses and stuff, and they participated and they had a mock election. And उस election में alternative reality है, conservative won and the liberals lost.
अरे वाह. So they voted for
Yeah.
Polyev.
Yeah. Apparently, yes.
They voted for the guy who ended up losing his seat in the actual
His own
election.
seat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so Polyev lost his seat, who was the conservative leader, and the NDP leader also lost his seat.
His seat. Yeah.
He actually was at third spot behind conservatives and liberals. Uh, NDP lost a lot of their seats, like 20 odd
They almost
seats.
vanished.
Yeah, so they are down to like 7 seats or something. Just give it a say. Of course, they're getting a lot of criticism. I think their leader is stepping down. A new leader.
Yeah, he resigned that night.
Yeah. So that is interesting. The votes that they lost kind of went evenly towards liberal and conservative.
Yes.
They both saw an increase in the percentage of votes. Like liberals saw like 11% increase compared to last election. Conservatives saw like some 7% increase.
Mm-hmm.
So ये election जो था वो mostly kind of,
Bipartisan था.
yeah, like two party split था. I think a lot of the I think कुछ जो criticism है NDP पे वो NDP पे वो undue है because ये election इस तरह का बन गया था कि like यहाँ पे kind of लोगों की perception में at least sovereignty of state जो थी वो at stake थी.
ठीक
तो
थी.
उसमें आई थिंक लाइक इसीलिए हमें जो है वो बाइनरी स्प्लिट नजर आ रहा है. और उसके अंदर what the trick that conservatives and Pierre Poilievre missed was uh, in this election people wanted you as far away from Trump as you could. I
Good.
think
Yeah.
Pierre Poilievre tried his best, but जो baggage already create हो गया था in people uh, thinking of him like Donald
Yeah.
Trump. I think it was just like 2 to 3 months were probably not enough to shake that off. So वो रहना था,
Yeah.
or I think that has basically hurt the conservatives.
I think so. There are there are a couple of things that I find very interesting. First, is I mean, Carney is extremely educated. He has a doctorate in economics. That gives me hope. If मेरी doctorate नहीं चली, तो I have a career in politics. uh, I think that it is something that you see throughout his campaign. I think he ran campaign for 4 months, and it was extreme. Like I remember having a conversation with you guys and saying that Carney might run because he went to Jon Stewart show, and
Yeah,
he
yeah,
keep on calling himself outsider. And Jon Stewart told him, I was like, "You're gonna run, don't you? You're just saying it right here. You're gonna run."
yeah.
And that was the point. We knew that okay, he's gonna run, and then literally shifting the election. Like you can see those graphs, the cross between
Yeah,
the
I will.
graphs.
I will put it up. That graph is very interesting. How things
Yeah.
changed.
So that is definitely interesting to a point कि आपकी campaign इतनी successful हो. In what, like, yeah, there are external factors. There's the Trump factor. There's all of that. इतनी successful हो that the leader of the other party loses his seat that he has been winning for past 20 years. It's the first
Yes.
time he lost his riding. To me, that is, I think it's the, like, as fantastic as you could go with your campaign.
Yeah, I think that was
But
icing on the cake for the Liberals.
definitely, definitely. And I think by-election होंगे and the MP from Alberta offered the seat to the
हाँ, वो आई
uh,
थिंक काइंड ऑफ एक तरह से गारंटीड सीट है, तो वो उन्होंने विकेट किया, अब वहां से इसको इलेक्ट करके दे वांट टू ब्रिंग हिम
yeah,
बैक एज अ लीडर.
yeah, which is sad because they should have just elected another leader and sometimes इंसान को gracefully छोड़ देनी चीज चाहिए जो चीज छूट जाती है. Um,
आई थिंक व्हाट दे आर डूइंग इज बिकॉज गिवन के लाइक 40% अबव उन्होंने वोट लिया है, आई थिंक, एंड राइटली सो, उनकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग ये है कि देयर इज लाइक अ बिग बल्क ऑफ यूथ पॉपुलेशन जो उसके साथ
that is
एसोसिएट
still,
करती
yeah.
है, तो आई थिंक वो उसको लूज नहीं करना चाहते, उसको इंटैक्ट रखना चाहते हैं, दैट्स व्हाई.
That okay, that yeah, that does make sense. So um as we go there, अल्बर्टा में क्या हो रहा है? उनके प्रीमियर को क्या मसला चल रहा है?
वो आई थिंक मैंने जो अभी पढ़ा है, दे शी मेट विद कार्नी, और आई थिंक लाइक वहां पे उसने, एंड गिवन जो लिबरल्स जिस तरह का एजेंडा लेके चल रहे हैं, आई थिंक दे आर एक्सपेक्टिंग के लाइक देयर टारगेट इज के बाय कैनेडा डे, दैट इज अराउंड द स्टार्ट द फर्स्ट वीक ऑफ जुलाई, इन्होंने ये जो हमने ट्रम्प टैरिफ्स के बाद हमने बहुत सारी लाइक एब्सर्ड स्टोरी सुनी थी ना, कि जो ट्रेड बैरियर्स एग्जिस्ट करते हैं बिटवीन प्रोविंसेस इन कनाडा, व्हिच डजंट मेक एनी सेंस. मतलब बहुत सारी सिचुएशंस में इस तरह से है कि लाइक सस्केचुआन से या अल्बर्टा से चीज एक्सपोर्ट होके यूएस जाती है, देन वो यूएस में ट्रैवल करती है टुवर्ड्स द ईस्ट, और फिर वो इंपोर्ट होती है बैक इनटू कनाडा. डजंट मेक एनी सेंस.
Oh,
और
yeah.
उसकी वजह ये है कि लाइक कुछ ट्रेड बैरियर्स एग्जिस्ट करते हैं बिटवीन द प्रोविंसेस. सो आई थिंक जितनी दफा लिबरल्स ने या कार्नी ने इसको इटरेट किया है, आई थिंक दे आर गना गो विद लाइक फुल फोकस एड्रेसिंग दैट प्रॉब्लम. और उस प्रॉब्लम को एड्रेस करने का इनहेरेंटली जो भी सोल्यूशन होगा, दैट वुड मीन यू टॉकिंग to all the provinces, which includes Alberta, obviously. And that means कि अगर आपने ये consensus between the provinces create करना है, जो कि आपके अंडरस्टैंडिंग के मुताबिक आपने जुलाई के फर्स्ट वीक तक करना है, आई थिंक देयर विल बी concessions made, और वहाँ पे आई थिंक जितने भी उनके like kind of reservations हैं, वो like they will be answered in some way, or to their satisfaction. Already I think अभी I was reading today उसकी like जो uh, Alberta की premier है, I forgot her full name.
Smith.
Smith. Yeah, she was saying that she has already spoken to him, and he has been like very understanding, and now they're gonna move forward with so they have a set of demands, like 9 demands that they will put forward. And I don't I don't I haven't exactly see what those demands are, but um, in finding a consensus between provinces, I think some of those will be met, and like ये जो situation है ये resolve हो जाए.
हाँ तो अब the background for this what we are talking here is कि अल्बर्टा के कुछ concerns हैं and they have been asking about those concerns for a pretty long time और उनके concerns meet नहीं हो रहे थे तो उन्होंने जो electoral act है उसके अंदर कुछ reforms की थी about 7 of them और उन 7 में से एक reform जो है वो ये थी कि आपके जो number of signature हैं for petition to trigger the referendum in Alberta for their separation
Oh
from
yeah.
Canada as sovereignty can be triggered. और वो उन्होंने लो कर दी है. सो पहले आई थिंक 5 to 10% चाहिए होते थे, अब आई थिंक 3.5% चाहिए, विच मीन 177,000 सिग्नेचर्स उन्हें चाहिए टू स्टार्ट दिस. अब जो वहाँ सेपरेशनिस्ट पार्टीज के लोग हैं वो कहते हैं कि उनके पास ऑलरेडी 600,000 लोगों के सिग्नेचर्स हैं जो कि फिजिकली आके कर देंगे. दे हैव अ डेटाबेस ऑफ दोज पीपल. So you can put that on referendum. But even जो आपके separationist parties के leaders हैं, they say that the first 6 months after this election is not the right time to trigger this because it's bound to fail. और आपके पास जनरली जो अल्बर्टा में एक सेंटिमेंट है वो यही है कि एक बड़ी स्मॉल कम्युनिटी है which do want that, but बाकी जो लोग हैं, they are like it's doomed to fail.
Mhm.
There's actually a conservative leader who said that they can, like the separationists cannot elect a dog watcher in Alberta. You're talking about getting out of Canada. तो वो एक definitely एक चीज है, but I think वो what what's being seen as, क्योंकि initially जब news आई तो everybody got mad at Smith and everything, but in hindsight what people are saying is what she did is she gave them what they wanted, so now they would know that they are not going to get it for sure. So
Mhm.
this story ends for once and all.
Right. But like in any case, अगर वो इसको प्रोसीड भी करते, आई वॉज रीडिंग के वहां पे बहुत सारे एग्रीमेंट्स हैं. इवन इन अल्बर्टा दे हैव अ लॉट ऑफ देयर एग्रीमेंट्स विद द फर्स्ट नेशंस.
Yes.
सो
So
वो जो है वो लाइक इसको स्ट्रांगली अपोज कर रहे हैं. वो कहते हैं लाइक इस तरह अगर आपने ट्रीटी साइन की होती हैं तो यू कैन नॉट जस्ट go and unilaterally do things. So
yes.
there is that angle to it as well. So it's probably not as straightforward.
Yeah, so there's Treaty 6, 7, and 8, जो कि First Nations और Crown के दरमियान साइन हुई हुई है. So
Mhm.
Alberta is on those lands. So उन और जो First Nation के लीडर हैं उनका लेटर था कार्नी को, which just literally said that कि I think the governor does not know that like the premier does not know that this land is on our or are given to you on the basis of these treaties. So if you
Mhm.
want to go somewhere, by all means go, but you're not taking this land anywhere. And
Mhm.
put the premier in line. Like that was literally the writing of the
Mhm.
letter.
Mhm.
So but जो कि जो रीड है वो ये है कि even if they get the signature or ये सारी like even if the referendum results come, yes, it's not gonna happen. But even before all of these things get triggered, they are not even gonna get the vote.
Mhm.
क्योंकि जो सिचुएशन है वो इतने उनके फेवर में नहीं है. And I think what Smith is trying to do is she's trying to like kill two birds with one bullet in kind of situation. इसके थोड़ा सा फेडरल गवर्नमेंट पे भी प्रेशर चला जाएगा इसके साथ, बट एट द सेम
Mhm.
टाइम इन लोगों को से भी उसकी जान छूट जाएगी, बिकॉज शी इज नॉट a separationist. She in her party and she herself is a federal, like she's a huge favor of federal sovereignty. So it's that kind of a situation, which is interesting because I always heard that Quebec does that, but
Yeah.
apparently we have Alberta doing this. There's one other thing that I want to talk to you, which was a sentiment that I saw from a lot of people is that, well, NDP lost a lot of their seats, and I think you addressed it a little bit as well in your previous comments. Okay, people keep saying that it's kind of alarming how the left vanished from Canadian politics. So, do you see it that way? Because, like, I don't. I feel like Carney represented a lot of those things that NDP was representing, and a lot of people just thought that he is a better alternative and he would win.
Yeah. I think हम बेटर पोजीशन में होते टू आंसर दैट अगर ये सारी ट्रम्प वाली सिचुएशन ना हुई होती. आई थिंक लाइक यू कैन नॉट ओवरस्टेट कि ये जो ट्रम्प ने की तरफ से जो रेटरिक था सिंस
Mm-hmm.
हिम कमिंग इनटू ऑफिस वो कितना सीरियस था इन शेप इन sending this election in the direction that it went.
Oh, yeah.
So that means इस पर्टिकुलर इलेक्शन में बहुत सारी चीज़ों की डायनामिक्स ही बिल्कुल फर्क थी जिसकी बेस पे बहुत सारी कॉल्स थे. Maybe like if all of that had not happened, maybe NDP might still have lost some seats. But would they have lost
Mm-hmm.
like 20 seats? I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So maybe some of that criticism is genuine, but a lot of it is like इसको हम दूसरी पार्टी पे भी जो क्यूबेक ब्लॉक है हम उसके ऊपर भी देख सकते
Mm-hmm.
हैं. they've also lost a chunk of seats because वहां
Yeah.
पे भी इस इलेक्शन को देखा जा रहा था as like US attacking sovereignty of Canada.
Yeah.
तो a lot of the people forgot their parties and stood behind one or the the other party, basically liberals or the conservative. So
Mm.
ये election was strictly kind of binary election, और इसकी बेस के ऊपर ये कहना कि जो लेफ्ट है वो लाइक टोटली वैनिश हो गया, आई डोंट थिंक it's like a fair assessment. हम like इसको extrapolate नहीं कर सकते because dynamics जो थे वो बहुत फर्क थे.
So I think then the conversation of NDP losing in a lot of seats in BC and Quebec, I think just boils down to the same thing कि उनके votes जो है shift हुए हैं liberal की तरफ. But okay, there's another thing you said, which is very interesting. कि आधे divide हुए votes NDP के to liberals and आधे चले गए हैं आपके पास conservative के पास.
More or less,
Isn't
yeah.
that is like somebody who's been voting NDP decides to vote conservative? How much of a contrast that is? Like, does it make sense to you?
So I think we will only be able to tell if we do like a seat by seat comparison for that. I definitely think like ऐसा नहीं है कि अगर अगर उन्होंने 20 सीट्स लूज की हैं तो 10 दोनों साइडों पे चली गई होंगी. Like that was like me expressing that in simplistic terms.
Yeah.
Basically उनके जो votes हैं वो they have went towards like liberals and the
Yeah.
conservative. Not
Even if
not
vote
strictly
half
by
भी
the
हो जाए,
same
it's
ratio.
not the seats. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for me, just even the thought that somebody would be that leftist that they have been voting for NDP for past 4 elections and then decides to vote for conservative sounds very interesting, and then that should be a case study in itself.
Yeah, but again, like this election was like mostly about दो चीजों पे कंटेंशन था ना. एक तो वो like जो यूएस की तरफ से ऑन स्लॉट था उसको एड्रेस करने के लिए एक वो एजेंडा था. दूसरा जो पॉइंट था दैट वाज जिसको बेसिकली हमने देखा लॉट ऑफ द यंग पीपल वोटिंग फॉर कंजर्वेटिव्स, राइट. सो दैट वाज बिकॉज उनको वो जो थेरी वो जो पहले से चल रही थी which was intact until the polling day to an extent was के लोगों को लाइक उनके वॉलेट पे प्रेशर फील हो रहा था. जो इकोनॉमिक प्रेशर था उसकी वजह से देयर वाज लाइक अ गुड चंक ऑफ पॉपुलेशन जो अपने आप को पियर पॉलिएव से एसोसिएट कर रही थी कि हम मे बी ही इज आंसर टू ऑल ऑफ दोज इकोनॉमिक प्रॉब्लम्स बिकॉज he was like constantly hammering these like liberal economic policies of the liberal government are not gonna help. Maybe I think बहुत सारे लोग उसके साथ connected. So there is a likelihood that some of the NDP, maybe not all of the NDP people were with their like leftist agenda. Maybe they disagreed with them on some of the things, and some of those things could be economic, and that's why they probably shifted towards the conservatives.
Yeah, that makes sense. Definitely makes sense. Let's see. I think 26th May को reconvene हो रही है Parliament, and we will see what happens next.
Yeah, number of
Hopefully
important
things
things happening. I think next Tuesday is when Mark Carney is meeting Trump. I think that
I
is
think so,
very
yes.
important. And the other thing is, I think 1 या 2 महीने में G7 समिट हो रही है कनाडा के
Yes.
अंदर. We are hosting. तो यहाँ पे like all of the G7 countries will be visiting. I think that will be very important given the kind of situation we have been since Trump in office. Like he has declared war, even this economic war, even on the allies. So उसके
Yeah.
बाद like it will be very interesting to see like what comes out of that G7 summit after that happening. So yeah, that is also like a critical event happening in the coming months.
So then we will keep an eye on all of this, and hopefully we can talk in another episode.
Sure. Yeah, it was nice talking to you.